was not called. And then Cunningham gets into the face of DeJounte Carrington.
To stop acting like somebody that's speaking up on behalf of girls, like a Sophie Cunningham, like a Riley Gaines, are scourges of the earth. That is an irresponsible thing to do. You are a coach for a female basketball team.
The Florida Attorney General has now warned DJ Carrington the WNBA fined her $1,000, and yet the biggest question still hasn't been answered. Stephanie White claimed she didn't see the Cunningham clothesline in real time, even though it happened right in front of her during a flagrant 2 ejection. But then Stephen A. Smith looked straight into the camera and asked the question everyone wanted answered. How are you the head coach and you didn't see the play? It's your job to watch the game. How did you not see the play? And just when it seemed like the controversy couldn't get any bigger, 4 days later, Carrington faced the Golden State Valkyries and 2 more players were hit above the neck. What happened next is where this story takes an even more shocking turn.
I didn't see the play in real time. I went straight to a press conference. The stuff that's trying to hijack our league will not win. Love will win. Grace will win. Humility will win. And kindness will win. I stand by them. I will always stand by them. Everybody else can go to hell.
2-0 ejection, 0 flagrant. And Stephen A. Smith is no longer holding back about it. When White said after the game that she did not see the Cunningham foul in real time and could not comment further, Smith went scorched earth. How are you the head coach and you didn't see the play? It's your job to watch the game. How did you not see the play?
Will go high. Love, grace, humility will win. And then you tell everybody to go to hell. You think that's going to work for you, Coach White? Think that's going to work for you? The reality of the situation is none of that stuff will win if it's left up to you, Stephanie White. Because you're not handling it right. You playing right into their hands. Right into their hands.
Bree White's post-game position was difficult to defend from the moment she said it. She told reporters she did not believe Carrington intentionally went after Cunningham and caught her across the neck like that. Then she praised Carrington's competitive style. One of the things about her is that she's going to play her butt off, man. This was the same Stephanie White who had coached Carrington with the Connecticut...
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that DeJounte intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did. But it did happen, and I thought it was the right call. But, you know, one of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off, man. She's going to compete. Nobody's going to go walking in for a layup. And so I don't oppose the hard foul. But I also don't think that she intentionally went for the neck.
Stephanie White, whose post-game defense of an opponent, after her own player left the court with a bloodied lip, became one of the biggest stories of the entire week. Smith saw the problem immediately. A head coach, her own player on the floor, a flagrant 2 ejection, and her answer at the podium was that she did not see it, and that the player plays hard. Smith was not accepting that explanation for even 1 second.
Take a walk with me, take a walk with me, take a walk with me. There is craziness going on in the WNBA. DeJounte Carrington tweeted out white privilege from the locker room of a game that she was playing in. Get this. She fouled Sophie Cunningham hard. Sophie Cunningham, obviously a white person, fouls her hard. Flagrant 2, gets ejected, goes to the locker room and tweets out white privilege in the middle of the game. Now, here's the kicker to me. A flagrant 2 has to be contact that can lead to an injury that looks excessive. DeJounte, it was about as excessive as possible. If there was any evidence of there being white privilege, this was not.
And then Smith went somewhere nobody expected. He turned his attention to Caitlin Clark's post-game defense of White. Clark gave an emotional statement, saying she told White before the game, there was no way we were losing this game for her. Smith directly addressed what he thought of it. Congratulations. What a statement saying absolutely positively nothing. See, if this were the men, we would not only be asking, we would be demanding that people speak up and put it where the goats can get it. Getting down to the bare bones about what's really going on here instead of dancing around the issues.
Embracing the reality of the tense situation that the WNBA, and especially you as the coach of the Indiana Fever, is involved in. There are folks in Indiana at a home game booing you. You ain't the road team, you the home team, you the home coach, and they booing you. And Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark can speak up for you all they want to, as they did, and as they should have.
Smith wanted Clark to say more about Carrington, more about the white privilege post, and more about what the league has repeatedly failed to do all season. And Clark, characteristically and professionally, gave the response she always gives. Let the governing bodies handle it. Focus on basketball. This is for the league to figure out. And Smith pushed back against that standard for the first time all season.
Rose that Stephanie is stuck in is she knows DiJonai is a good person, but now she's coaching people who are likely taking money from the Heritage Foundation, has a large MAGA racist fan base, and they didn't like that she defended DiJonai.
Take personally any suggestions that I don't 100% always have my players back.
Men should not play sports against women. I'm not going to get into all the bullshit that's going on out here in the world today. If anybody thinks that, I think they're stupid. I'm not.
The most credible voice in sports media and one of the most important players in women's basketball are now no longer on the same page. And that tells you how serious this situation has become. Then Smith delivered the sentence that has been repeated across sports media ever since. On the WNBA's failure to define its own policies while complaining about politicization, he said, "The time has come for folks to stop whining about how stuff is being politicized and do something about it. So it can't be politicized. Do something or suck it up. You don't have a choice other than those two. Do something or suck it up." That is Stephen A. Smith's complete verdict on the WNBA's 2026 season in one sentence.
Sophie Cunningham was brutally fouled in the face during today's game, and the offending player, DiJonai Carrington, was ejected after officials ruled her hit a flagrant 2. But after the ejection, Carrington posted, quote, "white privilege," on social media and tagged the Indiana Fever. The on-court drama follows weeks of backlash and protests against Cunningham for speaking out against including transgender athletes in the WNBA.
The white privilege post. Do something or suck it up. The trans eligibility policy. Do something or suck it up. Carrington hitting 3 players in the face within 4 days. Do something or suck it up. The league has been choosing option 2 all season long, and now the consequences of that choice have arrived, with a Florida Attorney General warning and a $1,000 fine that changed nothing. And a player who hit Valkyrie's opponents above the neck 4 days after a flagrant 2 ejection without additional discipline.
I am so fucking sick of the Indiana Fever and Sophie Cunningham. I really, really mean it. And I really have been trying to just keep my mouth shut because the rabid-ass, racist-ass fan base makes it insufferable to actually talk about basketball with people, one, who know the game, who used to play the game, and understand sometimes things just happen in the game. DiJonai got ejected in the first quarter in the Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever. Sophie Cunningham went up for a layup. DiJonai went to block it, right? Flying in the air. When she went to smack, she missed the ball, hit Sophie's head. I have not played basketball since junior high. That happened to me before. But where I'm at now with it is, one, everything Sophie Cunningham does in the game is for social media. Everything she does in that game is for social media's response, no matter what. Why? Because she's a mid-ass player in the fucking league. And yes, I am a person who has not played basketball since junior high, but I can say she is a mid player in the league. Look at her stats, who understands that where her opportunity is being a social media meme, clip, soundbite. And she will do that by any means, because at this point, that's making her off-court money. What irritates me is, one, DiJonai getting the flagrant 2. I don't think that it should have been a flagrant 2 because the intent to hurt, I don't think that there was an intent to hurt. When you go up to block the ball, especially in a layup, sometimes that shit happens. However, what I'm going to talk about is the aftermath. Sophie getting up and getting in DiJonai's face, and you physically see DiJonai say, "Stop, stop, stop." With the public, the people who support Sophie Cunningham and the Fever, resulting in such blatant racism, in such social media attacks on any team, any player that is opposing the Fever, Sophie, Caitlin Clark, and especially being black, it results in such racism. Not only now are the players like, hey, I know if I'm going up against the Fever and especially Sophie, Caitlin, I will take Lexi Hull out of this. Last season, we was getting close, Lexi. We was getting really close. I'll take her out of this equation now. But especially those two, the black players understand that if anything happens, even though it may be things that happen during the game, shit that is so normal to happen during the game, they know that they have racist attacks waiting on them online. Or hell, even
In Florida Attorney General James Umir warned Carrington over the white privilege post connected to the Sophie Cunningham incident. A sitting state attorney general warning a professional basketball player over a locker room social media post. That is where the WNBA's institutional silence around Carrington's conduct has brought this league. Smith addressed the attorney general's involvement directly. If that had been a liberal or somebody with a liberal thinking mind on that particular issue who said things opposite of what Sophie Cunningham would have said, would the Florida Attorney General have taken that position then? I don't think so. But I don't know.
Punch in the throat, that could kill her, right? And the WNBA, right? The people that run that league, if you're DiJonai here and you have a foul like that, I don't want to hear about, okay, that's a flagrant 2 and you get this sort of fine. She should be suspended for the rest of the season.
That is a fair question. The Attorney General's political motivation can be questioned, but it does not change what the post said. It does not change the flagrant ejection. It does not change the 8/23 threat date. And it does not change the fact that the WNBA fined Carrington $1,000 while saying nothing publicly about the racial social media post that turned a basketball foul into a national political story. The Attorney General stepped in where the league would not, and Smith said out loud what that means. The WNBA left the door open and is now shocked that people are walking through it.
They go on to defend her, the story, the narrative that she's not a dirty player. She makes plays like this all the time. I put together a little clip of DJ Carrington, who is definitely one of the dirtiest players in the WNBA. I don't know if we can roll it, but she's taken her long fingernails. She's scratched Caitlin Clark's eyes out. She's had multiple instances of chasing people down from behind, trying the same swat and smashing them in the head and causing mini fights. She pulled another girl's hair. I don't know if we'll get to that clip in a second when she's falling. Totally dirty play. This is not a skin color thing. She has a history of making dirty plays, and it's fine. The NBA...
Even on Monday, Carrington returned to social media and claimed people were misrepresenting the white privilege post, only to face accusations of gaslighting because of the timing and the lack of any real explanation. Carrington previously said it was not connected to the incident, but never clarified what it actually meant. She posted about white privilege 8 minutes after a flagrant 2 ejection, tagged the Indiana Fever, posted August 23rd, went private after the internet responded, came to a Monday press conference and called the clothesline unintentional, then returned to social media and said people were misrepresenting the post.
That's a flagrant 2 every single damn time in the NBA and the WNBA. But you know things have devolved when you've got the Attorney General for the state of Florida saying that's why WNBA games ain't here because guess what? We are the prosecutor. Attorney General James Uthmeyer, the WNBA knows better than to play games down here in Florida because I'll be charging people with assault. I should probably clarify. Assault and battery. That is from the Attorney General of the state of Florida.
She never explained what the post was about if it was not connected to the incident. Former NFL linebacker Emmanuel Acho, commentator Tommy Lahren, and Stephen A. Smith criticized the league for allowing it to become a race issue. Voices from across the political spectrum were landing in the same place. Making it a race issue after a flagrant 2 ejection on a breakaway is not a defensible position, regardless of where you stand politically. That should have been 2 flagrant fouls and an ejection for DiJonai Carrington. One fan posted, "If the league doesn't step in here, the players will start to police themselves, and then you'll have chaos." And then came the call that spread everywhere. Get this woman out of basketball.
I do think that there is a thing called pretty privilege. There is a thing called white privilege. There is a thing called tall privilege. And we have to acknowledge that. And so Part of it is about race, because if you think about the Brittany Griners of the world, why did she have to go to play in Russia?
They wouldn't pay her.
Because they wouldn't pay her.
Because they wouldn't pay. Not because she.
But I'm rooting for Caitlin because I've been in that seat before. I've walked that road before. I hope she kills. I hope Aaliyah Boston does amazing. And we have grown-ass men and women out here doing whatever they can to try to make sure that does not happen. That is the weirdest thing in the world, but it is what it is. And I'm glad that Caitlin has a great head on her shoulder.